Hey, so you want to know what 10 things narcissists do to appear like they are smarter than everybody else? Stay tuned and I'm going to tell you what they are. Hey, so I'm Rebecca Zung, and I am an attorney, and I teach people how to negotiate with narcissists. That's what I do all day long. Such a weird thing to say that I do for a living, but it is what I do for a living. And I spend all my time doing this, and my entire team spends all their time helping you because we want you to have the best resources in the world on negotiating with narcissists. So if you want tips and tricks, then go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And that way you'll get notified when I upload new content. All right, let's talk about the 10 things that narcissists do to appear smarter than they actually are. And by the way, I did a whole video on whether narcissists are actually smarter than other people or if they're just like super skilled. And you might want to check that out as well. But all right, so just let's talk about narcissists here for a second. They want to build up situations so that they look like they have a higher IQ than everybody else because they want to appear better than everyone else, because that's part of being a narcissist. They want to, degrade and devalue people so that they can look better. And they get a form of narcissistic supply by looking smarter. So remember that supply is anything that feeds their ego, and it can be adulation, respect, compliments, things like that. But it can also be, doing things that aren't so nice to people to try to, bolster themselves. And remember that they're not attaching themselves to you because you have so little value. They attach themselves to you because you have so much value. And by taking somebody that they think has so much value and then like degrading them, it's actually makes them feel better, right? So they are always looking for ways to look smarter than they actually are. And so let's go through them. So number one is projection. Um, if you call them a narcissist, and that's what you become. Whatever is being put onto them, like because they didn't take responsibility for something that they should have. I mean, I used to have a paralegal who was a narcissist, and every time she screwed up, it was somebody else's fault or something else's fault. Mistakes are always somebody else's responsibility. So they project and deflect. That's one of the things that they love to do. So that's number one. That's, because obviously if they project and deflect, then, they don't look so bad, right? So that's number one. Number two is degrading other people. What better way to feel taller than step on somebody else? At least according to a narcissist. So, somehow in their mind, if they're using, you as a footstool, then they seem to feel like they look better and they look smarter because they're degrading you, devaluing you, diminishing you, or others. It could be others. It doesn't necessarily have to be you, but that's another way that they try to make themselves look smarter. Number three is they exaggerate or inflate their own importance. This is where they're bragging, they're boasting, they are maybe exaggerating things. They're saying things that are just, maybe not even necessarily an exaggeration. But, if they won by a nose, a contest, and they say they won by a landslide. If they lost and the other person, just shook their hand, they will say the other person was a sore loser, or that they ran off with their tail between their legs, things like that. So they'll inflate their importance. They'll exaggerate their and anything that they accomplished, They'll make it look like it was way better than it actually was, and they'll tell everybody about it. This is more of your garden variety overt narcissist, not so much the covert. Covert narcissists don't do it in exactly that way. And just remember, the whole point of this is to try to make themselves appear smarter, but also make other people look bad a lot of times. Okay. Number 4 is judging other people, and especially judging other people to third parties, like they're flying monkeys. And remember, their flying monkeys are those people that they're trying to line up on their side so that they look so great and the other people look terrible. It's sort of a bullying mentality, like, we're all standing together here, and they'll lie to the third parties as well, but judging other people. And a lot of times these people are constantly judging people. Like, they'll just be watching TV and going, oh, that person's so fat. This person's ugly. Oh, the way this person speaks is so stupid. They're constantly judging, right? It's just like a way of being for them. Number 5 is lie. You know that they're pathological liars, right? They lie about themselves. They lie about their accomplishments. They lie about other people. They lie about things that they don't even need to lie about, but that's what they do. They lie to make themselves look smarter. And if you want to know more about that, you can definitely check out my video on what happens when you catch a narcissist in a lie. But they lie about pretty much everything. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but they can definitely lie to make themselves look smarter as well. The next thing is manipulate. They'll manipulate situations. They'll manipulate correspondence. They manipulate conversations. I've seen them manipulate bank statements. I've seen them manipulate discovery. I've seen them manipulate text messages, where certain text messages end up coming out. They will break into people's emails sometimes and manipulate things. They want other people to look bad and them to look good. And they want to kind of beat you to the punch, especially if they think that you are against them in some way. And if you're negotiating against them, then they're going to think that you're against them. And remember, they live in this scarcity mentality. So like, if you have something, then they can't have it. And then their world kind of caves in. So they'll do whatever they need to. And they fight dirty. Narcissists fight dirty. So there's really no bar that it's too low for them. Unless they're afraid that they're going to get caught, or there'll be bad consequences where they're going to look bad. But other than that, there's really no bar under which they won't go. So number 7 is they demand special treatment. They demand certain behavior from people. They demand the best table in the restaurant. They demand the nicest office. They demand coffee be brought to them, or whatever it is. They want people to do things for them. And that, in their world, makes it look like they're smarter or better than anyone else. And if you've seen any of these things so far, give me a hell yeah in the comments. Okay, number 8. Number 8 is that they distort reality. They distort what's actually happening, magical thinking. That's part of being a narcissist. Sometimes I wonder if they even believe their own lies. I don't know. I think it could possibly be. Or they tell themselves so much that they've just completely believed it. It's like the old George Costanza thing in Seinfeld. It's not a lie if you believe it. But they distort reality. And sometimes it works to their favor. I mean, I've heard like Steve Jobs used to force people to do things and accomplish things that nobody ever thought could possibly be done. And so sometimes, I actually did a whole video on is being a narcissist a good thing. I think it can work to a certain extent, but then it can definitely be their undoing as well. And number 9 is they say things with certainty. They absolutely say things. My father used to say, whatever you say it with authority and people will believe you, right? And I've heard Tony Robbins say, You know who wins an argument? The one who says things with the most certainty, right? And they're very good at that. And they use motions like this, hand gestures that make them look like they really know what they're talking about. And I've seen this with narcissistic opposing counsel. They'll bring up arguments and say things that are completely preposterous, but they say it with complete certainty in such a way that the judge actually goes along with them, you know? So they say things with certainty, and that makes them appear smarter than they actually are. And number 10 is attacking others. They'll attack you. They'll attack coworkers. They'll attack people that work for them. They will attack people for no reason whatsoever, just to make themselves look smarter. They will attack people for having a different view. They'll try to get people to sort of spar with them. I knew somebody that, like, as soon as they got somebody like riled up, that they were like, oh, all right, good. Now we're having a conversation, like, to that person that was like communicating when you're upsetting somebody, because, that person would get supply from that. And sometimes they attack people just for being weak, just because they can, because like they know if they attack this person that they're not going to do anything about it. And that's going to, to them, it makes them appear smarter. So those are the 10 things that narcissists do to appear smarter than they actually are. They want to feed their ego. They'll do whatever they need to feed their ego. They are supply whores. And, if they have to do these kinds of things and step on people to make themselves look smarter, then, well, by all means, why not? So if you are getting ready to negotiate with a narcissist, make sure to grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet. And that's at winmynegotiation.com. And hey, if you like this video, give it a like, give it a share, drop me a comment. I would love to know what you thought. And which ones have you seen? Drop me a comment below and let me know. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you can do that now. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you want to join my free private Facebook group, come on over and join me there. It's at Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. And I am so glad that you stopped by and that you are here because you are so ready. The reason why you found yourself here with my channel and with me is because you were ready. You're ready to start fighting back. You're ready to start becoming unstoppable. And I'm here to help you. So thanks so much for stopping by. Remember, today's a great day to start negotiating your best life. And I will see you in the next video.